Hey, what up, YouTube? I didn't do any Bible reading yesterday, but right now we're gonna continue on Genesis 11. Okay, okay. Genesis 11. Let's go. Okay, and the whole earth was one language and one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, and they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, Go, let us build a city in the tower, and whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name. Let us be scattered abroad from the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Okay. Verse 7. Go to, let us go down, and they confound their language, and they may not understand one and they may not understand one another's speech. So okay. Verse 8. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left off to build a city. Therefore is the name of the city called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. From thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of the earth. Verse 10. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. Okay. Verse 11. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begat Salah. And Arphaxad lived and begat Salah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Salah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. Verse 17. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 230 years and begat Serug. And Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. Four. And Nahor lived 920 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldeans. Verse 29. And Abram and Nahor took them wives, and the name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, the fathers the father of Iscah. But Serah and Serah, but Serah was barren; she had no child. So, and Terah took Abram, took Abram's son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Serah, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went out forth with them from Ur of the Chaldeans to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. Okay, so and these are the days of Terah. And these are the days of Terah were 205 days, and Terah died in Haran. Mark is red. Let's go. Okay.
The police don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know this. Drivers, if you pay...
Okay, verse 12. Let's go. Okay. Now the Lord said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I show thee, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Verse 3, and I will bless them that bless thee, and curse thee that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot ran out with him, and Abram was 75 years old, and he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all of them, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed I will give thee land. I will give this land. And they built an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto them. And he removed thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Ai on the east, and there he built an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he came now to enter Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold now, I know thou art a fair woman to look upon. Verse 12. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, and they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, and the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princesses also of Pharaoh saw her, and commanded her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. Verse 16. And he entreated Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen, and his asses, and men servants and maid servants, and she asses and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with the great plagues, because Sarah, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? And what didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Verse 19. Why shouldst thou? She is my sister, so I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore behold thy wife, take her and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all he had. Mm-hmm. Chapter 13. Okay. We're about 10 minutes. Is it 10? Yeah, 10 minutes. Okay. Genesis 13. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journeys from the south of Bethel unto the place where his tents had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Al-Bethel. Between Bethel and Ai. Alright, okay. Verse 4. Unto the place of the altar which he had made there at first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot said, which went with Abram had flocks and herds and tents. Verse 6. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. Verse 7. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Kenite and the Perizzite dwelled in the land. Verse 8. And Abram said unto Lot, there will be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen, for we be brethren. Verse 9. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, for me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go unto the right. Will thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as Egypt unto the Lord, like the land of Egypt, and thou comest unto Zoar. Verse 11. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves the one from another. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent towards Sodom. But men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. Okay, scroll down a little. Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes, and look from the place where thou art, northward and southward and eastward and westward, for the land which thou seest, for thee I will give thee and thy seed forever, and I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed be numbered. 17, 18. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Okay. Okay, verse 14. Chapter 14. And it came to pass in the days of Amariel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elazar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that These men made war from Bera, king of Sodom, and the Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, and Sedber, king of Zebulun, and the king of Bela, which is Zor. And all these were joined together in the vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Shedlamore, and in the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year they came Shedlamore and the kings that were with him, and they smote the Raphims. I don't know how you say that. Raphims, and in Astorum, Karnim, and the Zuzim, in Ham, and Emims, in Sabbath, Kerethium. Okay, verse 6. And the Herites in their Mount Seir unto Al Paran, which is by the wilderness. Verse 7. And they returned and came to Mishpat, which is Kadesh, and smote all the country of the Amalekites and also the Amorites that dwelt in Hazaron Tamar. 8, verse 8. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Admah, and the king of Zebulun, the king of Bela, and the same as Zor, and they joined battle with them in Vale of Siddim, with Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, with Tidal, king of nations, and Asphor, the king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings with 5. Okay, verse 10. And the vale of Siddim was full of snippets, and the king of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain. And they that remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Okay, 13. And they came out, and there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in this plain of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Anar, and there were confederate with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan, and he divided himself against them. He had his servants by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobor, which he had left hand of Damascus. Okay, verse 16. And he bought back all the goods, and also bought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the woman also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet after him, and returned from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and the kings that were with him, and the valley of Sheva, which is in the king's dale. 18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God, and he blessed him, and he said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. Verse 20. And he blessed be the Most High God, which he hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand, and he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the purses, and take thy goods to thyself. 22. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lift up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread unto scholatchet, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldst say, I have made Abram rich. 24 scope a bit. Save only. Come on. Save only which the young men have eaten, and the portion of men which went with me, and all Esco, Mambre, let them take their portion. Okay. Come on. Damn ads. Okay. Genesis 15. Let's continue. Verse 1. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield, and thy exceeding great reward. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt give me, seeing I am childless, and the steward of the house in Elazar and Damascus? 3. And Abram said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in thy house is mine here. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thine in here or her, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thine here. Verse 5. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto the Lord, So shall thy seed be. So shall thy seed be. Verse 6. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, Take me an heifer of 3 years old, and she goat of thee, a she goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. Verse 10. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. Okay, verse 11. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, and horror of great darkness fell upon him. Verse 13. And he said unto Abram, Know of surely that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Verse 14. And also the nation whom they shall serve will I judge thee, and afterward I shall they come out with great substance. Verse 15. And I shall go to thy fathers in peace, thou shalt be buried in good old age. But in the fourth generation there shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. Verse 18. And the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt and unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites and the Kenzites and the Canaanites. Hittites and the Perizzites and the Raphaim and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgashites and the Jebusites. Okay, so I think we'll stop there, y'all. It's already at the 25-minute mark. I'll probably do another one later today, if not tomorrow. I'll see y'all soon. We're kind of already almost there to finishing off the Genesis. Okay. Mark as well. See y'all. Have a good day. Blessings.